How you doing? Mike Iaconelli here at the Bass University, and I want to talk about a technique called the Wet Noodle Rig, okay? I know it sounds a little weird, but the Wet Noodle Rig is an unbelievable rig, especially when you get around smallmouth bass. So let's take a look at the rig and let's take a look at the bait that you rig on this thing. Okay, here it goes. I'm showing it to you. You're looking at it. A little tiny trout hook tied in line, a short drop lead, and a drop shot weight. I know what you're thinking. That's not a wet noodle rig, that's a traditional drop shot rig, but it's a little different, okay? So we're going to take a number 1 or number 2 drop shot split shot hook or an octopus style hook. We're going to tie it in line. We're going to use a short leader, okay? Not a long one like a normal drop shot. 2 to about 8 inches maximum. And you're looking at it and you're saying, yeah, but it's still a drop shot. But now we're going to get the magic, and this is what makes it a wet noodle rig. I don't know if you've ever heard about this, but it's called Berkeley Gulp, and this is what makes it a wet noodle rig. Specifically a shape called the wacky crawler, 5-inch wacky crawler. And when you take this gulp out of this pack, and it smells really good, let me tell you. Oh, it smells so good. If you look at this bait, this is what makes the wet noodle magic. Look at gulp, and if you look at gulp, it's wet and it's flimsy, and it's really kind of soggy and shaky. And the reason it does that is because gulp is not plastic. With a normal plastic bait, it's stiff, but gulp is not plastic. So we're going to get that gulp worm, we're going to put it on our little tiny split shot hook, and we're not going to nose hook it, we're not going to Texas rig it, but we're going to wacky rig that thing. And if you look at it, there it goes. You've got that noodle, you've got a short leader, and you've got your drop shot weight. And these fish are going to eat this thing 2 ways. They're going to eat it on the fall, and when this thing falls, you can kind of just tell without it even being in the water the kind of action it's going to have. It's going to shake violently because you've got that weight and the bait trailing the weight. It's going to quiver out of control. And then once this thing hits the bottom, you actually want to just let it sit. Don't give it too much action. Let it sit in place. Just use the natural current and use your natural shaking of your hand to hold it in place. And because it's gulp, it's going to twitch and quiver ever so lightly, and you're going to smoke fish under tough conditions. Let me tell you, if fishing's tough, if you're fishing for smallmouth, try the wet noodle rig. I guarantee you'll catch more fish.